actually make about $3,000. Really good freelancers does this, but they're rare. And that's why, coming back to the original point,
in this video, we're going to talk about freelancing from a practical point of view, assuming that most of you are from middle class background and don't have the clear path on how should I actually start a freelancing business. This is actually a part of conversation that we had in the community where I am talking about my opinions about starting their career as a freelancer. So when people don't have the clear path, they don't have the clear skills, they don't know how to go about it, and they need to make money, freelancing might not be the best way. And that is something that we have discussed in this call, the community call that we had. My name is Ishan, and I've run 2 freelancing businesses before running the agency that I'm running right now. And it has been clear to me that it's a business, right? You need to not only do the video editing, the coding, the graphic designing, the content writing. Not just that, you have to do much more than that in order to have a sustainable business. You can have a couple of clients here and there, but unless until you have 3 to 4 months worth of recurring revenue from your freelancing businesses, it's impossible for our middle class mind to think, hey, we are not having the recurring money coming in every month, and that's kind of stressful. So we have talked about the pros, the cons, the good things, the bad things, the practical way about starting a freelancing business in this community call. So I hope it will be helpful for you. And if you want to join the community in where we talk about reaching that 1 lakh per month mark that many of us dream about, join the link. The link is in the description, where all of us, many of us, are together achieving that goal, aiming for that goal. And many of the people in the community have actually achieved it. So it's awesome. You want to join it? The link is in the description.
today we're going to talk about how one should look towards starting a freelancing business, especially in the starting of the career. So this is from a context of anybody who wants to start their career from this freelancing business, right? And we are talking about a person who wants to earn money, and this is the first avenue that they are looking at, and this is something that they need to do and they're considering choosing at this point. Why one should not look at it? Why? Because there are 4 things that you need to know before starting any business, be it a freelancing business. So one, it's a business, as I said, right? It's not something that you can go ahead, sell your core skills. So let's say you are a video editor at this point, you are a graphic designer at this point, you are a content writer, you are a coder, you are someone who does some core skill as your, or you know that particular core skill that you think that you can sell in the market. And let's imagine you in 2 situations. Situation 1, where you have a job. Situation 2, where you have a freelancing business. In situation 1, when you're doing a job, your employer have 5 departments: marketing, sales, HR, finance, operations. In out of these 5 departments, you can eliminate HR. You're going to be the only one in your freelancing business. You can eliminate finance since you are getting the money directly in your bank. You can't eliminate sales, you can't eliminate marketing, and then you can't eliminate operations. Doing, let's say you are being a video editor in a team and you're editing videos, so that's your core skill, and that's about like 50%, 60% of the operation side. So all I'm trying to say here is that you have to have multiple skills to start a freelancing career. Be it sales, you gotta learn sales, right? Because you're gonna be selling stuff. You gotta love marketing, because sales can be done only for a set period of time. Marketing with what makes you money in the future. And then operation side, you gotta understand how to do your best. Let it be video editing, so you can't just do video editing, that you need to provide much more value than that, because if you do just video editing, you will have a ton of competition in the market. That's from the business point of view. Now these are the actual things that you have to have. On top of it, you gotta have clear communication skills, and it necessarily doesn't mean English. Of course, if it's English, it helps to have presence or sell your skills in the market which pays you more, but definitely that's not the only language. Those are the soft skills that you must be having. Number one, communication. Number two, curiosity. Number three, business understanding. So you gotta be thinking as an entrepreneur, and you gotta be making sure that you are providing as much value as you can to the client of yours that you are going to do business in when you start your freelancing business. So those are the things which you need to do, and any business does. So let's say in situation one, coming back to the original point, when you are actually doing just video editing, you are just being part of the business. Everything else has been handled by like the other people in the team, and you gotta make sure that you can do all of that in order to just sustain. I'm not even talking about growing. So I believe, and this is a number, good freelancer which has all of these skills and who is really good at their core skill. So core skill being like logo designing, core skill being graphic designing, core skill being video editing, content writing, any sort of those things, right? If you're really good at core skills, you can actually make about $3,000. Really good freelancers does this, but they're rare. And that's why, coming back to the original point, you should not start a freelancing business if you don't feel confident, or if you don't think you have all of those skills. And it matters because, you know, your luck might work and you might get a couple of clients in the beginning, but you gotta understand that it's a business. It will not bring you stability, and that's a curse when you're coming from a background which is sort of a middle class and people are relying on you, or you have responsibilities, or whatever may be the cases. So if you're starting your career and you gotta make sure that you are gonna make money, freelancing might not be the best way to do it. You start with a job, and now that's a B situation, and this is the ideal situation, right? So you start with a job, you only had enough time to learn one skill, whether it's through your course, whether it's through your own personal understanding, YouTube, whatever. You learn one skill, you get into a job, you provide that value. In the same time, you learn the business tactics, like how the business actually runs. How can I be different? How can I do sales? How can I do marketing? And that doesn't need to be only done like outside, but can be, if your boss is good, it can be done internally as well. But usually it's done outside, since I know most bosses are like dickhead. But so you learn all of these skills, get into a job, you learn all the other skills, you start dwelling in the phase of, you know, business, which is freelancing business. You start making enough money, at least equal to your job, for at least 4 to 6 months consistently. That's when you know that you are actually making you're doing a business which is paying you equivalent to your job, so that you can now, like, thankfully, hopefully, and you know, if everything goes right, you can leave your job and actually be a freelancer. I think that's the right way for most of the people out there, coming from like 70 to 80% of Indians, which we are targeting this video for. So that's what I feel is the right way to do it. So convenience wise, freelancing might be first way to have a career once you start off, because you're doing everything by yourself. And like, if one thing breaks out, if your sales team breaks out, if your marketing thing breaks out, everything relies on you, right? So it's much more headache than being a business person. It's definitely much more like headache than being employee. So freelancing business is for not light-headed people. It's for multitaskers. It's for the people who are actually willing to accept that there are 10 different things that I would be doing every single day. If one of those things don't work, your business might break out. And you need to understand, just concluding it, that it is a business, but it is the right business if you need freedom. If you don't want to be answerable to anyone except your clients, you're gonna be answerable to someone anyways, and you're not gonna be dependent on people. That is, like in business it happens, you're gonna be dependent on your employees and stuff. It's complete freedom, but a little bit more headache, or I would say a lot more headache than the other two options. So it's definitely not for the lightheaded. you need a lot of patience. It takes time and it takes much more patience to just develop all of these skills. So if you don't have any responsibility, this is the best way to do it. Be a freelancer. If you don't have somebody to give money to and you have enough money, just be a freelancer, be valuable in the market, know that how to sell your stuff. Don't go to college. This is the best thing that you can do, right? But having said that, there are a lot of asterisk marks on there. One thing, if you have responsibility, now responsibility doesn't always mean that you have to give money to someone. Responsibility also means that your parents are not understandable. They want you to go to college. It's a society pressure and you can't just throw away everything. Like if you're in an ideal situation where parents support you not going to college, you are fine being answerable to everyone in the society, like, and you don't have desires to have a college life, parties and stuff. You're just totally fine. Just start this stuff. I know a bunch of students who are making money. When I hire a bunch of students full time, right? Full time, I hire a bunch of students. They're just totally fine. They just manage their studies. So, like, just grow into your career knowing your exact situation. Now, this is something that it definitely is glorified. It's 100% freedom. So it feels like a freedom. So you gotta be understanding this. There are definitely possible. You can 100% make same amount of money if you have those skills, like same amount of money as your job. If you have one more complementary skill, if you know just how to sell, if you know your core skill, you can definitely make that much same amount of money. It just needs a little bit more headache. Hey, where is my next client is gonna come from? That stability is not there, right? So think of this like a vegetable vendor. There are sabji walas out there who have fixed customers, right? Like, you know, I know these sabji walas. Like, you know, इस घर में इस हफ्ते में इतनी सब्जी जानी है, and you just call them and they bring it to you. The local vegetable vendor, they will deliver it to your house. Like, there are a bunch of them like this, right? But then there are sabji walas who are just relying on just standing in the corner in the street, and they're expecting that someone would come. And if it's like too hot and people are sleeping in their houses and they're continuously just roaming around the streets and they're asking that, they're hoping that somebody would buy, that's like a freelancer. But if you have fixed customers, you know where the money is coming from, that's like a good freelancer. He's still a freelancer, but that's like a good that's when you know that you can leave the job. And you won't even believe me, a lot of quote unquote, now this is not down looking on anyone, but quote unquote laborers, they do a lot of this, right? I happened to meet just one of them 2 days ago. This guy used to work in cycle ki dukaan, okay? And then what he does is, okay, he saved up like 7,000 to 8,000 rupees. I happen to talk to a lot of these people. So he saved up like 7,000 to 8,000 rupees. He bought a thela and then he started selling juice, bale ka juice. He made enough money in the first month. His job was paying him like what, like 10,000 to 12,000, right? तो उसने same amount of money profit उतना कर लिया. He was really happy. But bale का season खत्म होने वाला. And now he's worried he can't sell anything else. So that's like a freelancer which is happy, but doesn't, like, you know, he's looking forward to his next client. What next opportunity, right? Just be aware about this and just be okay. It's okay. This is my suggestion. Do a job, do a freelancing business on the side, right? And make double the money. Do double the work and make double the money. Do it enough period of time, 6 to 8 months, and then cut down your salary in half and just do the freelancing business. That's the way to do it.